Have you ever felt a deep, unexplainable restlessness, like something in your life is about to shift in a way you can't quite understand? What if I told you that this feeling isn't just a coincidence, but a direct signal from heaven, letting you know that the breakthrough you've been praying for is already in motion? Pay close attention, because in the next few moments, you'll uncover hidden signs that God has begun to stir the supernatural on your behalf. Missing these signs could mean missing out on the greatest miracle of your life. There are seasons in life when a strange unease starts to rise within us. It's not anxiety, fear, or even stress. It's something deeper. A subtle whisper in your soul that says, "Get ready, something is about to change." This unease doesn't come from the physical world, it's spiritual. It's God's way of awakening your spirit, announcing that He's initiating a new chapter in your journey. That feeling may be waking you up in the middle of the night, making you question everything you thought was secure. Suddenly, comfort no longer brings peace, and the things that once satisfied you seem empty. The conversations you used to enjoy feel hollow, and deep within, you begin to crave something real, something eternal. That's not random. It's God gently stirring your soul, nudging you towards something greater, something you've been praying for, maybe even without realizing it. But why does God disrupt us this way before fulfilling His promises? Because growth rarely happens in comfort. To elevate you, He must first break the patterns that keep you stagnant. Comfort and miracles rarely coexist. When you're content with the ordinary, you stop reaching for the extraordinary. So this holy discomfort is not punishment. It's a divine push forward. It's what gets you moving when nothing else will. If right now you're feeling that tension, that nudge that won't let you rest, don't ignore it. Don't try to silence it or distract yourself. That stirring is the Holy Spirit telling you, stand up, it's time to move. God is shaking your routine so He can lead you exactly where He plans to pour out blessing after blessing. Maybe that unease is pushing you to pray more, to release things that no longer serve you, or to finally take a step you've delayed for too long. Whatever the reason, it's preparation. It's God getting you ready for what's next. The Bible is full of moments just like this. Moses had to be disturbed in Pharaoh's palace before he could become a deliverer. Abraham was stirred to leave his familiar home and walk into the unknown. David endured years of uncertainty before he ever touched the throne. Every great promise, every calling fulfilled was preceded by a season of divine discomfort. Today, that's exactly what God is doing in your life. He's shifting you. He's refining you. This moment wasn't sent by accident. You're being called to rise, to pray more deeply, to seek direction, and to trust that this inner stirring is heaven's message to you. God is near, and He's preparing something greater than you've ever imagined. Don't be afraid of the silence you might feel. Embrace it. Walk by faith, because right after this season, if you remain faithful, comes the greatest victory of your life. There are times in your spiritual walk when God seems to go completely quiet. You pray earnestly, cry out for answers, ask for signs, and all you're met with is silence. That silence can feel unbearable, even terrifying. You begin to wonder, has God abandoned me? Did I do something wrong? But listen closely, because this is vital. God's silence does not mean He's gone. It means He's working. It means He's preparing you for something greater. When God falls silent, it's not because He's ignoring you or punishing you. It's because something greater is about to unfold. Divine silence isn't emptiness. It's a deliberate strategy from heaven meant to stretch your faith and deepen your trust. In those quiet seasons, God is shaping your spiritual foundation, teaching you to rely not on what you see or feel, but on who He truly is. He's growing your roots in silence, roots strong enough to hold the weight of the blessing that's coming your way. Think of a seed planted in the soil. It remains unseen for days or even weeks. But while it appears inactive, a miracle is happening underground. Roots are spreading and strengthening, preparing to support a tree full of fruit. In the same way, when you hear nothing from God, He's growing something deep within you that will sustain the promise you've never encountered before. Job went through a long season of silence. It felt like abandonment, yet that silence was the prelude to his most abundant restoration. Joseph experienced it in prison. Jesus himself felt it in Gethsemane before fulfilling his greatest purpose. In every one of these stories, silence came right before the breakthrough. You might be in that same place now, surrounded by silence, feeling directionless. But hear this clearly. Silence is not rejection, it's preparation. God is working behind the scenes, arranging circumstances, shifting hearts, and aligning everything for a moment that will exceed your expectations. In this silence, God is looking for a faith that doesn't depend on constant confirmation or fleeting emotions. He wants you to learn to rest in His character, to trust His timing, even when all you hear is quiet. Because once you master faith in silence, you're ready for the fulfillment of what you've long prayed for. So don't despair in this quiet season. Keep praying, keep worshiping. Even if you don't understand what's happening, hold on. Stay grounded, stay faithful. This silence is not the end. It's the most powerful sign that something extraordinary is about to begin. When God is preparing something big for you, it's common to encounter unexpected resistance. Suddenly, doors close, relationships shift, and challenges appear where things once flowed smoothly. You might ask, why now? Why when I'm so close? But listen, this opposition isn't a sign that you're off track. It's the clearest proof that you're getting closer to what God has for you. The enemy knows what's coming. He senses the promise ahead and will do everything to discourage you, to plant doubt, to wear you down before you arrive. He can't stop God's plan, but he'll try to stop your faith. He'll tempt you to quit, to walk away just before your breakthrough. Joseph faced betrayal, injustice, and years of waiting before reaching the palace. David fled from danger and hid in caves long before his crown. Even Jesus endured spiritual battle in the wilderness before his ministry began. Each of them walked through fire before receiving the promise, and so will you. These battles aren't to destroy you. They're refining you. God allows them to make your faith resilient. He's preparing you to carry the weight of the promise without falling under it. He's training you to be strong, to be grounded, to be ready. In this season of resistance, don't give up. Cling to prayer. Hold fast to God's promises. Your breakthrough is nearer than you think. This battle will end, and when it does, you'll see that it shaped you into someone capable of receiving all God has prepared. So rise today. Know this: the opposition you feel is not a blockade, it's confirmation. It means you're right where God needs you. Stay the course. Your greatest victory is just ahead. And when it arrives, you'll understand that every trial had a purpose, every tear was worth it, and God never left your side, not even once. There are times when God asks us to let go of something we cherish, something valuable, perhaps something He once gave us. It could be a relationship, a job, a dream, or a place of comfort. Letting go can feel like heartbreak, confusion, even betrayal. Why, God? We ask. Why would you ask me to give this up? The answer, though painful, is powerful. God never asks you to release something unless He has prepared something far greater. That sacrifice is a test of trust. When God touches the most sacred part of your heart, He's not taking it away to harm you, but to make space for something more divine. Think of Abraham walking up the mountain with Isaac, the promise he had waited his whole life for. Then God asks for Isaac back. It made no human sense. But Abraham understood something crucial. When God asks, He never intends to leave you empty. Abraham obeyed, and in that exact moment of surrender, he discovered supernatural provision. Perhaps God is asking the same of you. Maybe you're holding tightly to something you love, but He's not subtracting. He's preparing to multiply. The surrender He asks of you is the gateway to something you can't yet see, something eternal and extraordinary. Letting go is hard, but what you give up in obedience becomes the seed of multiplied blessing. What feels like loss today is preparing you for gain tomorrow. So trust. Open your hands. Let go in faith, because what you release now will return in a form far greater than you ever imagined. At certain points in our spiritual journey, God allows us to walk through seasons of isolation. Maybe you've noticed people drifting away, friendships growing cold, trusted voices going silent. It might feel like everyone's leaving, like your world is shrinking. But hear this: isolation is not rejection. It's divine preparation. Before God reveals something extraordinary, He often removes distractions. He quiets the noise, separates you from shallow connections, and creates space for you to hear Him clearly. It might feel painful, but it's a sign of His deep love. He's guarding your heart, positioning you for purpose. In solitude, He teaches you to depend solely on Him. He reveals Himself in new ways, like David in the caves, or Moses in the wilderness, or Jesus in prayer alone. Every great move of God is preceded by a season of divine separation. If you're walking through that today, don't resist it. Use this time to draw closer. Let your intimacy with God deepen. Because what He births in secret will one day be revealed in power. This isolation isn't random, it's strategic. And when it ends, you'll step into a season more glorious than you ever imagined. Finally, after enduring the stirring of your spirit, the silence of heaven, the resistance of the enemy, the pain of surrender, and the solitude of preparation, now something has shifted. There's an unmistakable feeling inside you. Expectancy. You can't fully explain it, but you wake up with hope. You sense that the answer, the miracle, the breakthrough you've prayed for is right at the door. That expectation isn't a fleeting emotion. It's the Spirit of God confirming it's almost time. God places this fire in your heart to activate your faith, to align your actions with the miracle ahead. Closed doors no longer discourage you. Challenges no longer scare you. You move like Noah, building the ark without a cloud in the sky. Your faith creates movement, and that movement invites heaven to respond. So now I invite you, declare what you're expecting. Speak it, write it, believe it. And as you do, take a moment to pray for someone else too. Because when we stand in faith together, God moves in ways we can't even imagine. Hold tight to this. The expectation burning within you is a divine sign. Don't let go of it. What you're about to receive will prove that every delay had a purpose. The wait is over. The blessing has been released. Get ready. Your miracle is coming.